A basic rule of writing: show, don't tell. When a writer uses linking verbs, he's telling, or describing, more than showing. To adjust this dynamic, and therefore to write more efficient, convincing analysis, he should use action verbs in the active voice. Doing so illustrates, or shows, a point, and opens up for more fluent utilization of textual support as well. This video does not include differentiating between action and linking verbs. Rather, it centers more on how to, and how not to, rewrite sentences that have linking verbs in them, which is a dynamic many ninth graders have to navigate. Ultimately, students should be able to eventually edit out linking verbs as they're writing, but in order to get there, many must practice.
Frankie is one of my older brothers. Frankie is very agile. Frankie is very smart for age. Frankie is a really loving brother. Frankie is stinky sometimes.
Let's review, shall we? All of these statements describe Frankie, but they sound as if they've been written by a 5- or 6-year-old. Most likely, ninth grade writers wouldn't catalog simplistic observations like these in a character analysis, but here and there, writing like this does emerge. If you can combine some of these observations while communicating with action verbs, your writing will automatically become more efficient, complex, and convincing. Take a look at some of these examples.
Frankie is one of my older brothers. Frankie is very smart for age.
First, take the noun phrase that follows the linking verb and move it next to the noun it's describing. That makes it into an appositive. Next, show his strength rather than tell about it.
Frankie, one of my older brothers, can do 20 push-ups. Frankie is one of my older brothers. Frankie is a really loving brother.
Combine these two statements the same way you did in the first example. Transform the noun phrase into an appositive, and then show his loving nature rather than telling about it.
Frankie, one of my older brothers, hugs me all the time. Frankie is one of my older brothers. Frankie is very agile. Frankie is stinky sometimes.
As with creating an appositive, a writer can take a predicate adjective and move it from after the linking verb to a spot next to the noun it's describing.
Stinky Frankie. When my older brothers can do a round off.
In all of these examples, the writer combined multiple sentences into one, reduced the overall word count, and ended up with more powerful statements as a result. That's good writing.
Writers who don't fully understand the techniques illustrated here, or those who simply refuse to restructure their expressions, often fall back on a strategy that does not address the primary flaws that accompany the use of linking verbs. What many writers do is akin to the find and replace function on Microsoft Word. That is, they simply locate the linkings and replace them with other verbs. Here are some examples of that faulty approach. Like Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, George created a story to comfort Lenny, who is mentally deficient. This writer simply changed is to occurs to be. Listen to the result. Like Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, George created a story to comfort Lenny, who occurs to be mentally deficient. Seriously. Finally, Noah's Ark and the idea of cleansing the earth of wrongdoing are true in this case because it shows the restarting of life after the destruction of a new life. Became in a lame rewrite. Noah's Ark and the idea of cleansing the earth of wrongdoing can reign true in this case because it shows the restarting of life after the destruction of new life. Here are the words and phrases I've seen many students use to replace linking verbs. Try pausing the video after each of the 3 sentences included and rewrite them better than the original student did. It takes more work to rewrite in the manner highlighted in this video, but the finished product makes it worth the effort. Strive always for the most efficient, powerful, and clear expression of your ideas. Choosing action verbs in place of linking verbs is often the easiest step towards that goal.